At the start of the season, the Premier League had the youngest average starting 11 age in 11 years. And in the top 5 were Manchester United, who were at the top of that list, and Chelsea, who came in at number 4. So we want to ask you, Craig Burley, which side, with in mind that they do have a lot of young players in those sides, which side has the edge next season when it comes to actually winning something? Is it Manchester United or is it Chelsea?
Oh, it's a real difficult one because, Pogba looks a little happier since the restart. They'll probably go and sign people. Chelsea have already started with the signing process. They'll be on the hunt for maybe another centre-back. But I think they're both in much better position. Depending on how the season finishes, I'm expecting both Man United and Chelsea to be in the top 4, primarily because of United's fixture list, which is pretty easy. But does Martial carry them as a front man, or does he go out, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and buy a real quality, consistent number 9? Do they go for somebody like a Harry Kane? I mean, if United were to go for Harry Kane, just for example, Tottenham fans will be headbutting the wall at the moment. But the bottom line is, I don't see why Harry Kane would stay at Spurs in its current format of management and player squad. If they were to go out and sign a world-class striker like him, that could just tip the balance. We know Chelsea have gone and got Timo Werner. So I would say, can I sit in the fence, Kay, which I don't do very often? I just think they're so close. Kind of 50-50. I don't think either of them done enough so far to be challenging Liverpool, but I think they've narrowed the gap, and it could be, an FA Cup competition or all that for one of those clubs.
You can sit on the fence, but what if I were to bring a few players in for each club and just see if it changes your mind in any way and tips the balance? Jadon Sancho coming into United, and let's just say, for argument's sake, a player like Kai Havertz comes in at Chelsea. Would that change your mind? Would that get you off the fence?
I'm enjoying being on this fence today, for once. I just think it's so difficult to pick between them because, you say Havertz comes in at Chelsea, but then they've got Timo Werner there. They've already got. I mean, I suppose he can play so many positions. He's so adaptable, isn't he? He's shown that at Leverkusen. If Sancho comes in, does that? I still worry about the consistency of the front man, which is Martial, not his talent, but his consistency. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know who's in the better. I think they're both in a much better position than they were. Obviously, Chelsea have had a transfer ban last year, which didn't help them. But I know both teams have got lots of good kids coming through as well, which is food for thought in terms of what they might spend in the summer.
Do you like to see what we're seeing now with the likes of Frank Lampard and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that they are giving more youth a chance? Do you think that's just a product of the way the Premier League is now, that sometimes you do have to focus on using your youth because of the money that it costs to buy some of the big players from elsewhere?
Yeah, well, I suppose Chelsea had that transfer ban, so that was one of the reasons you could point to. But I think both managers have just, and I'm still not convinced about Solskjaer, by the way, long term. Things are rosy at the moment, but I'm not convinced come next year over a season he has what it takes. And I suppose in some sense there is that question to be thrown out with Frank Lampard as well. And so you could put the two of them in the same boat. But in all fairness to the two of those managers, I think what they've done is they've gone in and said, I don't care. We look at Jorginho sitting on the bench at the moment. You look at the players that Solskjaer has sold and that he's given opportunity to. Wan-Bissaka has come in. It's not difficult. I mean, United is one of the most difficult clubs to go and play at because of their size. Wan-Bissaka's come in and done a very, very good job. He's still learning. Obviously, Marcus Rashford, for a young man, has got an unbelievable amount of games under his belt. Mason Greenwood, who recently has been fantastic. They're getting game time. Scott McTominay has signed a new contract. They've been getting enough game time. Mason Mount at Chelsea never thought he would play in every league game after being on loan at Derby, but he has. Christian Pulisic is getting game time because he's playing great. Tammy Abraham has led the line and he's close to 20 goals. He's up there, and he was playing for Aston Villa in the Championship last year because Frank Lampard and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and all fairness to both of them on this front, has said, I don't care who you are. This is not about me rubbing your ego because you're on £250,000 a week or whatever it is. But hey, I need to get results. I'm at United and I'm at Chelsea, and my backside's going to get fired if I don't get results. So if you're a youngster and you're playing well for me, guess what? You're in the team. And I think when you get managers that do that, that's great. We're starting to see it a little bit at City with Phil Foden, although it's more difficult there because you look at the squad and you go, Jesus, look at the bench, you know. But at Chelsea and Manchester United, where it's a big rebuild at both those clubs, young guys are getting their opportunity. And they've got two managers that understand the difficulties of going to big clubs and getting playing time. Lampard at West Ham and then Chelsea. Solskjaer coming into United and spending a lot of time on the bench, coming off the bench and scoring. These guys understand the difficulties for these young players. And that's good news for the youngsters. You play well, you get game time.
One last question. If only one of those teams, one of those squads was to make the top four and play in the Champions League next season, because I asked Stevie Nicol this as well and he upset a few of the fans, which one, in purely entertainment purposes, would you prefer to see playing Champions League football, Chelsea or Manchester United?
So I presume Nicol said Liverpool then. I presume he said Man United.
He didn't say United. He said every single team but them.
Oh, he needs to stop being so bitter, doesn't he? But look, I don't know what team would I prefer. I want to see them. I want to see all the big teams. Listen, I honestly, to be honest, I couldn't give a stuff from which country wins the Champions League, whether it be Spain, Italy, Germany, or England. People win it on merit. I think what might hold United back could be the manager. Some might throw that out about Chelsea as well. But I think with United's clout and their financial clout, and I mean by that, I think they may be able to peg that gap a little quicker because they could go. Although Abramovich has, in all fairness, opened the checkbook again at a time when it looked like it was slowing it. With all the problems he's got with coming in the country and staying and all the money, the billions that he spent at Chelsea, all of a sudden you thought, well, you know, is that going to continue? But he's written the cheque for Frank Lampard so far. But I think United, as we know, probably have as much financial clout as any club in the world. And I include the two big clubs in Spain and that as well. And for that reason, I think United could be better placed to go spend and challenge the big boys again. So I'm going to say, and we're going to upset. And some Chelsea fans will, how can you say that? You used to play for them. I don't play for them anymore. They stopped putting money in my bank account 20 odd years ago. So I'm going to say Man United.
All right. At least you got off that fence. But to be fair, Craig, you are always outspoken. So we will let you sit on the fence just now and again.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.